I'll admit I've been pretty shameless, and albeit unapologetic, about how much I like Milwaukee on this channel. But here's the thing about the Milwaukee Bucks. I feel like the NBA is just better when the Bucks are good. I feel like they're just better off. It's a better product when like Giannis is in the mix in the playoffs, you know, maybe in the mix for MVP or like a championship. Like there's just something about that guy I just love. And I've also really never been somebody that, you know, anytime there was a rumor about like, oh, Giannis could go here or Giannis could do this, is Giannis, like anything that Giannis has ever said that made people draw the conclusion that maybe he's going to go somewhere else, really all it has boiled down to is him being like, yeah, I don't want to play on a team that's bad or that like isn't trying to be good. Okay. But something that always did kind of feel like it was true was Giannis wanted to apply some pressure to the front office to let them know like, hey dude, I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention to what you guys are doing, what you aren't doing, who you are going after, who you aren't going after, you know, who you're keeping, who you're letting go, everything. But John Horst knows this. Milwaukee knows this. That's why they went and got Drew Holiday a couple years ago. That's why they went and got Damian Lillard when they did. And when they got Dame, like, I could not have been more ecstatic. Like, for him to not go to Miami, first of all, was already just a win in and of itself. But I was over the moon. So boy, oh boy, did it feel good when Dame finally has this moment against Sacramento where it's Dame time. He finally hits this shot that we've been waiting to see from him. I feel like Bucks fans had to have just had this moment where it's like, you know, Dame has had some good games. He's had some, you know, whatever. Like, he's had good moments this season. But, like, that's why you went and got him. That's why if you're Milwaukee, it's like we gave up everything that we did, and we really were just like, let's go for it. It's for a moment like that. It's for a shot like that. And you know what I think we learned from that game? I just think we can't count Milwaukee out, like literally at all this season. Between that game, you know, a game where they're dead in the water, like Milwaukee, all Malik Monk has to do is hit his free throws, something that he has done not just this season, but throughout his career pretty consistently. All he's got to do is hit free throws, and he misses, both of them. Then Dame goes down and hits this shot. And, you know, you also think about, they just played Boston the other day. That game was so bad. Milwaukee beat the shit out of Boston so bad that TNT switched off of the game. They switched off of the broadcast because of how good Milwaukee was. And we've been looking at Boston all season, right? Like, okay, so they are kind of the pinnacle. This is in the East, right? We're looking at Boston as like you can't fuck with them, if not just at home, then literally at all. And Milwaukee was like, except us. Although it's been tough for them on defense this year. That's like the one thing, if I'm a Bucks fan, I'm looking at Mike Budenholzer and I'm like, we were never worse. Like, we were always top 5 in defensive rating. And this is not a channel that cares about the numbers, right? That's not what we do around here. But it's even like an eye test thing. Like, you watch these Milwaukee games and you're like, damn, like, they're getting cut up. The defense has been bad. The rebounding has been bad for Milwaukee. But through all of that, like, what else are we seeing? Is somehow Giannis the best he's ever been? Like, seriously, like, is somehow Giannis Antetokounmpo in year what? Like, what would this be, like, year number fucking 9 for him? Like, having kind of a renaissance season? You know, we're looking at, like, Damian Lillard in a vacuum, and it's like, that's 30 points right there for your offense, right? But it's also like, well, you could put anybody with Giannis in a pick and roll, and, like, he's gonna eat. But then you give him Damian Lillard, and they're, like, scoring the most points out of the pick and roll that, like, any duo has in, like, the history of modern basketball. What the fuck? I feel like through all of this, the one thing that remains consistent with Milwaukee, which is actually a lot of things, in a season where we're looking around the league and using Golden State as an example, we're looking at a lot of those players and we're like, oh, like, you guys are bad now? Like, oh, the Splash Brothers are like, are they kind of washed? Like, this isn't fun anymore? Not Steph, but, like, this isn't, like, oh, what's going on here? It feels like, you know, you would look at guys like Brook Lopez and, like, Bobby Portis, and you would think, like, maybe they're kind of getting there. Bobby Portis, yeah, his rebounding numbers are kind of down, and, like, I think his percentages defensively, whatever. But, like, he's still giving you 12 points on 50%. You know what I mean? He's not throwing up threes, but, I don't know, he'll give you, like, he'll go 2 out of 3 every other night. I'll take it, Bobby. I could sit here, honestly, and I don't want to make this a video about Thanasis Antetokounmpo, but I truly think there is something to be said about the guy who was there exclusively for vibes and for no other reason at all. Like, literally a guy who you will send out there just to eat fouls. I fucking love that guy, and I want him on my basketball team. Every team needs one. Every good team, right? Every good team needs the guy that is, like, Dante Jones in the, at the early years of the second LeBron Cleveland stint. I think it was like the first 2 years. Like, Dante Jones at that point was just like a vet, in his career. All he did was sit at the end of the bench and like talk shit. And if David Blatt at the time needed somebody to eat fouls, it was like Dante Jones, like, get out there. That's Thanasis, right? Like, the worst thing that you can see if you are a team that's playing the Milwaukee Bucks is Thanasis Antetokounmpo checking into the game, because that literally only means one of two things. One, you're about to get the shit fouled out of you, or two, you're down by literally 100 points, and Adrian Griffin is just like, I guess we can send Thanasis out there, because there is not a roster spot in the league for Thanasis Antetokounmpo except for in Milwaukee, and I don't think there is a better place for him. And I don't even say that just because Giannis is there and it's like his brother. I just think, like, he fits it so well. I don't even have, like, any more nuance than that. It's just a vibes thing. I'm telling you, man, we keep thinking that this Milwaukee Bucks team is down and out. We keep thinking that they're dead, and then they're just not dead. Inexplicably, they're not. And then the playoffs roll around, and then Miami shows up, and it's like, oh my God, they're dead again. But I think that's going to happen. Is this the year? Milwaukee! I don't know. It's early, but maybe.